Yeah, you see what time it is.
Pythagorus' study of harmonics led him to theorize that everything in the universe, including planets and stars, exists in a constant state of vibration. Incredibly, he was right.
2,000 years ago,
Yeah,
the
you see what
Greeks
time
asked
it
an
is.
elemental question. What paradigm can explain the entire complexity of the universe?
Yeah, you see what time it is.
One, two, one, two. I had to take fire right quick. You know what I'm talking about? Slide through Union City. Yeah, so entertainment plus education equals edutainment. You understand what I'm saying? But right now, we finna go into this shit from the History Channel. Talk about some shit called entrainment. You know what I'm talking about? This has to deal with sound and acoustics and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That third eye type shit. Y'all ready? The Palm Cast and Mr. Nepalm. Let's go.
Discovered that rhythm and acoustics can produce a physiological change in the human brain through a process known as entrainment.
If I can create a pulsing in the external environment that's pulsing at a brainwave speed, my brainwaves will try to match that speed to save energy, and my consciousness will change in the process. So we can do that using just a drum to change consciousness and will. If I hook you up to an EEG machine so I can look at your brainwaves, and normally when we're awake, my brainwaves are generating beta function, which is rapid, between 13 hertz and 38. And the drum beat is at 5. And my brainwaves are going to start slowing down and slowing down, slower, to take my consciousness from a waking state into a dream state without going to sleep first, which means that's a classic definition of a trance. The earliest examples of brain entrainment would be shamanic drumming. The speed of the drum beat tends to be around 5 hertz, and that's about like this. That's about 5 hertz. And 5 hertz is where your brain goes when you're dreaming at night. The whole idea is to transform consciousness.
They were trying to achieve a connection with the divine, with the otherworldly.
If modern science has proven that shamanic drumming does, in fact, induce a state of trance, could it also be true that it enables extrasensory abilities and even allows for communication with other realms? While it may sound like a far-fetched notion, in 1995, the U.S. government revealed that brain entrainment was part of its top-secret spying program called Project Stargate. Operatives in this clandestine unit gathered intelligence about persons, places, and events from great distances by sensing with their minds. A practice called remote viewing. During the 1970s, President Jimmy Carter's administration used remote viewers to locate a downed Russian spy plane in Africa.
You talk to any of the old remote viewers, the ones from the Stargate program, they'll tell you how accurate and how important and how relevant their information was.
John Vivanco has been working in the field of remote viewing as both a teacher and practitioner for more than 20 years.
I worked with corporations, intelligence, counterterror for the FBI after 9/11.
At the start of every remote viewing session, John uses specific sounds to entrain his brainwaves and create a trance-like state.
What we do with remote viewing before we do a session is cool down. We will meditate, and one of the aids that we'll use are binaural beats. So if you think about frequencies in the ear, we'll listen to these sounds. So if one ear is pulsing a sound of, let's just say, 6 hertz, and in another ear it's pulsing a sound of 4 hertz, your brain waves will synchronize to around 5 hertz. And we like to stay in that zone in order to get the best information.
John claims that by entering this trance state, remote viewers have gathered more than just information. They've also encountered otherworldly beings.
We were working a project around the Arecibo Radio Observatory, and I was the first viewer on this particular tasking. And I started to get these beings, these aliens. I just remember during the session, I kept saying, they're coming, they're coming, they're coming. And they started to take notice of me. And I'm starting to freak out because I've got tons of adrenaline flowing through me. I'm in fight or flight. It telepathically communicated with me. It said, we are here to help you. We want you to help us. The other viewers started to experience the same thing. And so that's when we started to, okay, now, I'm not hallucinating. This is absolutely real.
Travis, you can speak to this probably in more detail, but we live in a spectrum, right? We see a very tiny sliver of reality. And what if these frequencies, what if they're like dials, you can, like you're turning the radio dial up. I'm not in the earth frequency anymore. I'm just going to tune it a little bit in this space, and I'm going to be able to see what's actually there. So, what if, and this is a what if, you're in this perfect spot, what if that shifts you slightly in the spectrum that you can perceive?
How about this? If we could actually, through science, find the proper resonances, tones, that'll actually put us in contact with whom?
Ancestors.
The only way to find out is to knock on the door, go through, and say, who's there? Coming up, could acoustics provide the key to making an extraterrestrial connection?
Pythagorus felt he was unlocking a kind of code. He was providing humanity with the language of the gods.
Every lyric that I spit be turning charcoal to the diamond tips. I bring the pressure than the bush and pipe. Biting my rhymes, you bitch. What I find, I rip. What you find, you bit. The difference is all kind of shit, but basically you ain't shit and I'm the shit. I can understand that a lot of shit you try to spit. Use your words and find a fit. That fits, let me stop that shit. I decline your shit. You place the reservation where we can't find that shit. You just might have to come back at another time and shit, whatever, bitch. Next time, do your research and pick comments, bitch. Every lyric that I spit be turning charcoal to the diamond tips, which means it's sharp enough to cut all types of shit. And it takes heat to do that science shit. Put my light away. Hey, every lyric that I spit be turning charcoal to the diamond tips.
Everything is based on music, which in turn is based on certain ratios, thirds, fifths, octaves. So why not explain the solar system this way? If you look at Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, they are aligned according to certain ratios. Maybe these ratios are the ratios of strings. And so he called it music of the spheres. When planets move around the solar system, he thought they must create music. Music that we cannot hear. This is heavenly music. Music of the angels. But nonetheless, that would explain the regularity of the solar system itself. And so we thought you could explain the universe through music.
Pythagoras felt he was unlocking a kind of code of creation. He was providing humanity with the language of the gods, so to speak.
Pythagoras said it was Apollo, the sun god, who taught him about all of these advanced concepts and laid down the basis for modern music and everything that we know about music. So there's an extraterrestrial connection here that is very important for us to think about.
Egypt, all this talk about music and frequencies and harmonics all boils down to mathematics, correct?
According to the ancient Kabbalistic text, math complemented with appropriate harmonics are going to align with the natural harmonic or universal pattern of the universe. We are talking about the hidden sacred knowledge of the ancients, which was their secret technology, their way of reaching out to the higher dimensions, whether they be to angels or gods or ancient aliens.